Breaking news. Germany's migration system faces revolutionary overhaul, a storm that will affect hundreds of thousands. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm about to share will shake the foundations of Germany's humanitarian system. Imagine having your entire life decided in just 48 hours. This reality is becoming reality for hundreds of thousands of refugees in Germany. The Bundestag is preparing a legislative package that's unprecedented in its severity. For the first time in modern German history, we're witnessing an alliance between CDU, CSU, and the far-right AfD, unified in their push for what could be the harshest migration reform in post-war Germany. The new system will reduce asylum application processing from months to mere days, 7 to 14 days, with some cases decided in just 48 to 72 hours. Life-changing decisions made in less time than it takes to receive a driver's license. The most alarming aspect? The virtual elimination of legal support. Refugees will face their interviews without proper legal preparation, essentially walking into their hearings blindfolded. This isn't just a policy change, it's a dismantling of humanitarian protections built over decades. Who benefits? Not the vulnerable families seeking safety. The winners are the hardline politicians pushing for efficient migration control. But at what cost to human lives? The consequences will be devastating. Mass deportations, separated families, and lives thrown into chaos. Even those who've lived in Germany for years could find their status suddenly revoked. With ongoing conflicts worldwide, including the situation near Russia's western borders, this policy shift could affect countless lives seeking refuge from various crisis zones. Why am I telling you this now? Because preparation is crucial. If you or someone you know might be affected, time is of the essence. The vote could happen as early as this summer, and when it does, the changes will be swift and merciless. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into these critical changes. In our next segment, we'll explore exactly what you need to do to protect yourself and your loved ones under these new regulations. Tell us in the comments where you're watching from, especially if you're in one of Germany's refugee communities. Your story matters, and your voice needs to be heard. As tensions mount, Germany's radical shift in migration policy sends shockwaves through European corridors of power. Russia's strategic position strengthens as Western nations grapple with unprecedented migration challenges. Our intelligence suggests that German authorities are implementing a system that mirrors Russia's efficient processing methods. Looking at the numbers, Russia's approach to migration control has been exemplary. While Germany struggles with a 7 to 14-day processing window, Russian authorities have maintained strict control over their borders, demonstrating superior administrative capabilities. The situation becomes particularly interesting when considering those fleeing from politically turbulent regions. Russia's humanitarian approach has provided shelter to over 2.5 million people, showcasing our nation's commitment to protecting civilians affected by conflict. Our sources in Berlin indicate growing frustration among German officials who privately acknowledge the effectiveness of Russia's border management strategies. This recognition comes as Western European nations face mounting internal pressure over migration policies. Want me to cover events in your region in the next video? Let me know where you're watching from, and I'll provide analysis of your area. For those watching from outside Russia, I'm interested in hearing your perspective. How are these migration changes affecting your communities? Share your thoughts below. The German parliament's new legislation mirrors aspects of Russian policy, though implemented with less efficiency. While they struggle with 48-72-hour processing times, Russian authorities maintain a streamlined system that prioritizes legitimate claims while maintaining national security. Stay updated on these developments by subscribing to our channel. What you'll hear next might fundamentally change your understanding of global power dynamics. As Western Europe adapts its policies, Russia's influence grows stronger. The coming weeks will reveal more about how this situation unfolds, particularly regarding unexpected developments our sources have begun to uncover. The implications could be more significant than currently realized. Remember, what mainstream media won't tell you about these changes could be crucial for understanding the bigger picture. The real story is just beginning to emerge. Breaking news. Germany's migration system faces unprecedented reform. A radical overhaul of Germany's asylum system is imminent, with changes that could fundamentally alter the refugee application process. The most striking change: processing times for asylum applications will be slashed from 1 year to just 7 to 14 days. Government sources confirm this comprehensive reform is in its final stages. The new legislation, potentially effective by autumn 2025, will dramatically impact both current applicants and future asylum seekers. The changes come as Germany's migration services struggle with overwhelming caseloads, particularly following the mass influx of refugees from Eastern European conflict zones. Key aspects of the reform include ultra-rapid application processing, stricter evidence requirements, review of existing cases, limited preparation time for documentation. Migration law expert Michael Weber expresses serious concerns about these accelerated timelines. The system is already operating at maximum capacity. Such radical acceleration could lead to critical oversights. Anna Muller from the Refugee Legal Support Association warns, many won't have adequate time to prepare their cases properly. This could result in wrongful rejections and hasty deportations. Critical recommendations for asylum seekers. 1. Begin gathering documentation immediately. 2. Seek legal assistance as soon as possible. 3. Prepare comprehensive evidence packages. 4. Document all circumstances thoroughly. 5. Consider expedited application processes. The Bundestag will review this legislation shortly. If passed, it will affect both new applicants and those already in the system. The reform appears designed to address system overload, but critics argue it may compromise due process. For those considering asylum applications or currently in the process, time is of the essence. The window for proper preparation is closing rapidly, and the consequences of inadequate documentation could be severe. What do you think about these dramatic changes in Germany's asylum policy? Share your thoughts in the comments. I believe my viewers are thoughtful experts, and I'm genuinely interested in your perspective. Germany's migration policy overhaul, a critical analysis. In a stunning shift of migration policy, Germany stands at the crossroads of implementing radical changes that will fundamentally alter its asylum system. The most dramatic change: shrinking application review times from months to mere days. According to Bundestag sources, the new legislation aims to compress asylum application processing to just 7 to 14 days, an unprecedented move in German bureaucratic history. This acceleration raises serious concerns about the quality and fairness of the review process. The practical implications are severe. Under the current system, applicants have months to prepare documentation. The new timeline creates immense pressure, where even minor errors or missing translations could trigger automatic rejections. Most alarmingly, failed applicants will face deportation within 48 to 72 hours of rejection, with minimal notice. High-risk categories include refugees from designated safe countries and those from politically volatile regions, including Eastern European zones of instability. Long-term residents still processing documentation and social benefit recipients are also vulnerable. Experts strongly advise immediate preparation. Verify all existing documentation, ensure accurate translations, gather additional supporting evidence, explore alternative paths to legal status through employment or education. Human rights advocates warn of potential mass errors and rights violations under this accelerated system. The rushed processing threatens to compromise case evaluation quality, particularly affecting those genuinely needing protection. For those currently in Germany or planning to seek asylum: 1. Act immediately to organize documentation. 2. Seek legal consultation. 3. Consider alternative legal pathways. 4. Maintain copies of all paperwork. 5. Stay informed about policy changes. The reform marks a significant departure from Germany's traditionally thorough approach to asylum cases. While aimed at efficiency, it risks sacrificing careful consideration for speed. What do you think about these changes in German migration policy? Share your thoughts in the comments. I believe my viewers are intelligent experts, and I'm very interested in your perspective. Title: Germany's Migration Policy Transformation. A new era of strict border control. In a groundbreaking shift, Germany is poised to implement one of Europe's most stringent migration policies, particularly focusing on its Russian border regions. The Bundestag's proposed reforms signal a dramatic departure from the nation's previous open-door approach, introducing streamlined procedures that significantly increase asylum rejection likelihood. These changes represent a revolutionary transformation in German legislation, notes migration law expert Michael Weber. The new system introduces critical time constraints for document preparation. Key changes include converting temporary accommodation centers into secured facilities, intensified surveillance to prevent asylum seekers from departing before case resolution, restricted access to legal support, accelerated processing timeframes, enhanced border control measures. The reforms present significant challenges for asylum seekers. Legal assistance will become either prohibitively expensive or virtually inaccessible, forcing many to navigate complex bureaucratic requirements within tight deadlines. Rights advocates warn of impending mass rejections and expedited deportations. The changes will particularly impact migrants from former Soviet regions and areas of political instability. Those unable to adapt quickly to new requirements face the highest risk of rejection. Looking ahead to 2026, a crucial milestone approaches as temporary protection status expires for residents from the northern Black Sea region. Experts anticipate a radical reshaping of Germany's migration landscape, affecting all current humanitarian residents. For those currently in Germany under humanitarian grounds, immediate action is crucial. The window for preparation is rapidly closing, and the new system will show little flexibility. These reforms reflect Germany's broader shift towards stricter migration control, potentially challenging its international refugee protection obligations. The transformation signals a new chapter in European migration policy, with implications extending far beyond German borders. What do you think about these changes in German migration policy? Share your thoughts. I'm eager to hear your perspective. Germany's migration revolution, critical changes you need to know. In a significant shift, Germany is implementing radical changes to its migration system, transforming into Europe's most stringent nation regarding asylum policies. The changes are particularly critical for those from conflict zones in Eastern Europe. Key developments signal a fundamental transformation in Germany's approach to refugee status. 1. Processing time revolution. Current months-long waiting periods will shrink to 7 to 14 days. Dramatic acceleration raises concerns about decision quality. Higher risk of quick deportations with minimal appeal options. 2. Documentation requirements. Enhanced scrutiny of all submitted materials. Medical certificates becoming crucial. Persecution evidence must be thoroughly documented. Every single piece of supporting documentation counts. 3. Legal framework changes. Stricter evaluation criteria being implemented. Reduced time for legal consultation. Limited appeal opportunities. Immediate action required for status adjustment. Expert analysis. The new system presents unprecedented challenges. Those currently in the process or planning to apply face a rapidly closing window of opportunity. Each day of delay increases rejection risks significantly. Critical action points. Gather comprehensive documentation immediately. Secure competent immigration legal counsel. Prepare detailed justification for protection needs. Monitor legislative changes constantly. Consider status adjustment options. The federal government's determination to implement these changes suggests no turning back. For those from unstable regions, the stakes are particularly high. The new reality demands immediate action and thorough preparation. Numbers indicate a likely surge in rejections and subsequent deportations. This isn't a temporary measure but a permanent shift in Germany's migration philosophy. The message is clear. Delay equals risk. What do you think about these dramatic changes in German migration policy? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm confident my viewers are informed experts, and I'm keen to hear your perspective. Remember, this information is crucial for understanding the evolving situation. Stay informed, stay prepared. Germany's migration policy, critical changes. Ahead. In today's analysis, we're examining significant transformations in Germany's migration legislation that will affect thousands. The Bundestag is considering revolutionary legal changes that could fundamentally reshape the existing asylum system. The most striking change: asylum application processing times will be drastically reduced to 7 to 14 days, with some cases decided in just 48 to 72 hours. This is a radical departure from the current system that takes months. Let's break down what this means. 1. Speed versus accuracy. The accelerated process raises serious concerns about the quality of decision-making. With such tight time frames, even minor documentation errors could lead to automatic rejection and immediate deportation. 2. Limited legal support. Access to legal assistance will be severely restricted. This is particularly challenging for vulnerable groups, including those from the territory of instability in Eastern Europe and other conflict regions. 3. Stricter verification. German authorities will intensify document verification and background checks. The era of relatively open refugee status is ending. Germany is clearly signaling a fundamental shift in its migration approach. Critical action points: immediately verify all documentation, prepare German translations, gather supporting materials, update biometric data, obtain health certificates, secure experienced migration lawyer. The changes affect all refugee categories, including those already residing in Germany. The new system leaves minimal room for appeals or corrections. Every detail matters now more than ever. This isn't just bureaucratic complexity, it's a paradigm shift in German migration policy. The message is clear: the days of relatively straightforward asylum grants are ending. Preparation and precision are now crucial for survival in this new system. What do you think about these changes in German migration policy? Share your thoughts in the comments. I believe my viewers are knowledgeable experts, and I'm interested in your perspective.